Hey, sorry about the messy environment. I've been working on a lot of interesting stuff. So we've been showing up a lot of videos on a Supreme 7 outdoors, okay? And the screen, as like I said, they look just like movie screens. So we had to figure out where the magic hour is at, where the screen actually produces a better image. Let me go back. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Luminous 4K Screen Paint using ambient light rejection technology gain times 4 and 5. So magic hour. Magic hour means where the screen's going to work and where it's not going to work. So by doing some testing, finding out that the screen produces images in the early morning hours of 6, 7, and 8. But in the afternoon, we have 6:30. I've done 4 and 5, but I'm going to do that again today. So I'm going to start off at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. We know anything at 6 o'clock runs perfectly on the screen because I've done demonstrations on a movie screen outside. We watch little movies, some cartoons, TV, high performance video demos, stuff like that. In the hours of 6:30, 7, and 8, so forth. I think anything after 6:30, it's going to basically, we know already from the door, it's going to shine. So the next stage is going to do from 3, 4, and 5, all right, to see how the screen reacts outside. So I'm going to be taking this one outside. Half of it is going to be white. The other half is going to be black. So that way you can see the difference between a white screen outside at around 3 to 4 to 5 o'clock. And you can see how the technology we develop is much better for outdoor home projection screen setups or for businesses. All right, so over here, I'm going to show you something. Actually, I'm going to show you something else pretty interesting. So to keep people from trying to falsify our demonstrations against our product, we are now adding in a strange color code into the chemical. So what the color code does is it pretty much shows up. When you look at it, we can tell when it's wet. When somebody pours it out, we can tell exactly it's ours because it has a strange little code to it, color to it. So as you're looking at the screen, it's black, right? Correctly, it looks black. But I'm going to show you how we know if it's our product or not because we have a strange color that we use to make our technology. So this right here is everyday black paint, as you can see, and this right here is a Supreme 7. So the code was dropped in there so that way we can tell the difference. If somebody does a demonstration and they pour out that paint and it looks black like this, that's how we know the difference. That is a very interesting color code, and it reacts different when a projector hits it. So that's how we know. So these are extra steps that we have to take in order to make sure we protect our company's name. But as you can see, there's a difference between the two when you look at them. Alright, so I'm going to come over here and show you a couple of demonstrations. We're going to show you in this demonstration why a black screen is more superior over a gray or white screen. Now keep in mind, a gray and white screen are going to have higher white levels because that's what they do. But when it comes to contrast, and contrast is everything, that's something they do not have. Alright, so first things first, got a nice little demonstration in Japan. There's the black levels. Now this is the reason why you have to be in the dark when you're using a gray screen or you're using a white screen, because like I said, they have poor gain, number one. Number two, they do not have the ability to produce contrast levels, so you're going to have a faded screen on your hands. And the projector I'm using behind me has more than enough lumens. Get this out of the way. It's a NEC NP 1150 that projects 3,700 lumens. Now I have some people tell me turn the lights out, turn the lights out. No, I will turn lights out if the demonstration requires it, but this demonstration is not for lights out. We're showing our customers exactly why you don't have to be in the dark, why your screen's not going to fade, why it's not going to wash out. Very important that these demonstrations are done. Any screen can produce an amazing image with the lights out. People don't understand that a projector of 3,700 lumens, by the time it reaches your screen, is no longer 3,700 lumens, because the more ambient light you have in the environment, the faster those lumens will start to drop before they make it to the screen. The screen has to generate enough gain in order to produce a bright enough picture to throw back at you so you can see an image. And as you can see, these screens right here, a light gray screen and a white screen, does not produce enough gain. On top of that, they don't have the ability to produce contrast, which means they reflect too much light and it causes a washout. So I'm not going to basically take a camera, point it up real close on the screen and say, hey, look at the pretty colors. No, I'm going to explain to you why it's not working. This is why I say that it's hard to follow these demonstrations. No gray screen or white screen can do a black contrast demonstration with the lights on. Even with the lights off, you'll see a difference because you'll see a lot of brightness around the screen. Let me come over here. I'm going to do a outer space. Now see how the screen is oversaturation, the white levels? All your detail, you're supposed to have all this detail in here. This is all the detail you're supposed to have. All that gets washed out because the screen is actually pushing off too much light. And this is why, if you're gonna do anything, like I said, everything and anything comes with contrast. Video games, sports, movies, all that comes with contrast. And this is what you're actually getting. That's why I have customers that call me up and say, hey, look, I got this screen, it's white. I turn on the lights, it washes out. I get no contrast, I get no color pop. They all go the same thing. I bought a light gray screen. I had a customer bought a light gray elite screen. Not for elite down, they bought a light gray elite screen and the color just wasn't popping. Didn't make a difference if they had 3,700 lumens, they had 3,000 lumens, 3,500 lumens. It wasn't popping. And like I said, a Supreme 7, as you can see, can produce an image outside. Now you see how the color is here, the white levels are here? This is a natural white level. See how bright and all this is washed out? It's supposed to look like this. There's supposed to be a dark background there. I'm going to pause this for a minute because my camera has something called lens shift. So I can take the screen and I can move it over and show you how the color is fading out. See what you're actually getting? You have to have contrast. Without contrast, nothing is going to show up. We'll do the Japan. All right. Japan. We'll go to the dark scenery. And I'll use my lens shift. Watch how the screen fades. Now, let's go with some beautiful bright colors, because you want the colors to pop. Now, that's the beautiful thing about a Supreme 7 and a Superior. They produce very high white levels. Now, color is completely faded here. It's faded here. The pop level's there on the black screen. And all the lights are on. And as I said, I had somebody once say, well, look, I see the gray screen is producing an image with the lights on. Yeah, because you have to use bright colors. I've said that many times before. When you watch demonstrations of people showing off a light gray screen paint, they will use high bright colors. If they use contrast, this is what happens if they use contrast with the lights on. Screen fades. That's the trick. The trick is they use high bright colors. High bright colors. Like, look, come back here and they go, I have all my lights on. If I'm doing a light gray screen, like I said, I have all my lights on. And look, the color is still there with the lights on. That's because they use light color demonstrations. But if they were to use contrast with the lights on, this is what will happen. That's my battery dying. That's what they would get. to show you exactly what you were getting. So in order for them to obtain this picture, to get a decent picture, you're going to have to start turning out lights. It's the only way you're going to be able to produce any form of contrast. You have to be in the dark. And I got to take out all my lights because you still can't see. The screen's actually still washing out. So I have to take out all my lights. Go around here and take out all my lights. Because you're going to have to be in the dark. And even with the lights out, as you can see, you're still not picking up contrast. Now this is a huge eye-opener, showing you that black technology is better. Look at this. We got all the lights out. We're in the dark here. And this is what you actually are getting from a light gray screen paint. That's why when they do a demonstration with the lights out, the screen is always bright. It's always bright. Look at the edges around the screen. It's always bright. If I turn on one light in the environment, on a dark contrast demonstration, that's what you get. Now, take the lights out on our using a bright demonstration. So here's the lights out on a bright demonstration. Turn the lights on. Screen still shows up. White screen's automatically going to wash out because the white screen over a light gray screen is pretty bad. White screens are the worst. I'm sorry, but they are the worst. They don't show up anywhere. I had somebody sit there and had a conversation with me trying to tell me why a white screen, to match a high professional white screen instead of using a white wall. A white screen is just that. It's just a white screen. You can take a white piece of paper. You can take a white bed sheet. They all react the same way. There's no, if someone says a white screen has a 0.1 or 1.0 gain, that doesn't mean anything. It's just going to do the same thing. That doesn't make a difference. I have customers who bought high-tech screens from big companies and they were white and they were claiming to have a 2.0 and all this other stuff. You turn the lights on, it's going to react the same way as a white wall. There's no difference in it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video demonstration. Just a bit of an eye-opener showing you what you are actually really getting. And keep in mind, for those of you doing, taking the time to do the research to get the best projector you can get, you're only getting 50% of it. That's all you're getting from your projector. In order to have the true and the best when it comes, actually true and the best when it comes to a high performance screen, black is the best way to go. And as I said before, we do demonstrations outside. You don't see a lot of people following behind us when it comes to that. If a screen can produce an image outside on 1100 lumens, inside is a cakewalk. Alright, hope you enjoyed the demonstration. I gotta go. Oh, by the way, I got a screen coming here today. I ordered an inflatable screen. I'm going to be coating that and taking it outside. Thank you all for your time. I have to go.